महुआ माझी, you're a झारखंड मुक्ति मोर्चा एमपी, आप मुझे बताइए क्या आपकी पार्टी इस बिल का पूरा इस पर इसको एंडोर्स करती है या नहीं? क्योंकि हमने पहले देखा हिंदी हार्टलैंड के पार्टीज कहते हैं ओबीसी रिजर्वेशन दो, केवल विमेन रिजर्वेशन नहीं चलेगा, वी वांट रिजर्वेशन विद इन रिजर्वेशन, ओबीसी, एससी, एसटी, इनके लिए। क्या आप इस बिल को कल समर्थन देंगी या नहीं मैम?
देखिए, इस बिल को लेकर हमारी पार्टी हमेशा से मांग उठाती रही है। मैं खुद भी पार्लियामेंट में इस बिल के लिए बोलती रही हूं और अभी ये आ रहा है, इसका स्वागत है। लेकिन हमारा ट्राइबल स्टेट है, आप सभी जानते हैं कि झारखंड में 32 ट्राइब्स रहते हैं और वो महिलाएं जो हैं वो अभी पंचायत चुनाव में बहुत अच्छा कर रही हैं। मुखिया का चुनाव हो, जिला परिषद का चुनाव हो, उसमें अध्यक्ष का पद हो, हर जगह वो चुनकर आ रही हैं। तो ऐसे में अगर महिलाओं का सिर्फ रिजर्वेशन होगा और उसमें एसटी, एससी, ओबीसी का रिजर्वेशन नहीं रहेगा तो हो सकता है कि आने वाले समय में सिर्फ कुछ पर्टिकुलर अपर क्लास की महिलाएं, चाहे वो किसी भी जाति धर्म की हो, लेकिन जिसके हस्बैंड्स या तो ब्यूरोक्रेट्स हैं या पॉलिटिशियन हैं बड़े या इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट हैं, तो ऐसे लोगों के घर की महिलाएं फिर से पॉलिटिक्स में आएंगी और जो ग्रास रूट लेवल की महिलाएं हैं जो डिजर्व करती हैं उनके लिए समस्या खड़ी हो जाएगी। इसलिए हम लोग चाहेंगे कि उनके लिए रिजर्वेशन हो।
So you want a quota within a quota? तो आप साफ कह रही नहीं मैडम, आप कह रही है 33% में एक कोटा चाहिए फॉर ओबीसी।
एक बात और कहना चाहूंगी कि हाँ बिल्कुल, और एक बात कहना चाहूंगी कि जिस समय ये इस बिल की घोषणा हुई, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने लोकसभा में बात कही तो चारों तरफ ये बात गई और खुशी की लहर भी आई। हमारे पास भी, मैं चूंकि झारखंड विमेन्स कमीशन की चेयरपर्सन रही हूँ और अपनी पार्टी झारखंड मुक्ति मोर्चा की विमेन विंग की सेंट्रल प्रेसिडेंट भी रही हूँ, तो मेरे पास महिलाओं का फोन आना शुरू हो गया इंटीरियर से, गाँव से, और वो लोग खुश होने लगी कि हम लोग भी इस बार चुनाव लड़ेंगे 2024 में। बहुत खुश थी वो, लेकिन तुरंत जैसे हमें पता चला कि नहीं, ये तो अभी जनगणना होगा, उसके बाद फिर परिसीमन होगा और फिर होगा, इनफैक्ट मुझे लगता है 2029 से पहले ये नहीं होगा, तो वो बहुत मायूस भी हो गई। तो मैं ये कहना चाहूंगी कि माननीय मोदी जी जिस तरह से नोटबंदी की घोषणा 1 मिनट के अंदर कर देते हैं या लॉकडाउन की घोषणा करते हैं, उसी तरह से अगर महिला रिजर्वेशन बिल लाने की घोषणा उन्होंने करना चाह रहे हैं तो निश्चित रूप से इसे भी तत्काल होना चाहिए, न कि सिर्फ ये एक आप सब बाग दिखा कर।
नहीं, मैं मुझे आपकी बात ओके, सो आई
ज्यादा खुशी होगी, हम लोग उसका स्वागत भी करेंगे।
मैम, आई हैव अंडरस्टूड मोस्ट ऑफ द पार्टीज देयरफॉर आर सेइंग, एटलीस्ट from what I can gather, the opposition is saying implement it now, do not wait for a census and delimitation. Interesting, because Tara Krishnaswamy, one of the feelings one got in parliament today is the male MPs are not happy. And therefore, while the Prime Minister has been able to drive the narrative of Nari Shakti, the truth is the male MPs have been given time till 2029 to digest the implications of what happens. Where does that leave it? We are kicking the football, it appears, into the distance. Are you okay with that?
First of all, it's nothing but good news that the Women's Reservation Bill has been tabled. There's no two ways about it. Could it have been tabled sooner? Absolutely. Especially given the delta between the 2008 bill and this is just the delimitation and census. Surely, that didn't take this degree of consultation or warrant a special session necessarily. So it could have been tabled sooner, but here we are. And the fact that it's tabled is a good thing for women. Now, by linking it to delimitation and census, really 2 or 3 things here. One is by linking it to delimitation and census, you're pushing it out. But what you're also doing is comforting the men that the total number of male held seats may not change very much, because if the overall number of seats increase, and men today hold 543 minus about 78, close to 470 seats, they may continue to hold 470 or more seats when the total number of seats increases. So there's a certain degree of pandering to the male child that is happening, but in politics that may well ease the path. What is unclear to me is why they had to wait this long. This could have been initiated even though they didn't have a Rajya Sabha majority. The consultations could have been initiated ahead of time so that the bill doesn't have to be tabled this late. The consultations could have happened. We know it's coming. It's not some kind of a surprise slam that is needed. Now, the credit for the bill, clearly partly what the BJP wants to do is to take reap political capital for tabling the bill without necessarily actually implementing it, because implementing it is going to be a tricky thing. There's a lot of disgruntled male MPs and MLAs, and that's going to affect a lot of parties, including the BJP themselves. So they want to be able to take the political credit for it and defer the implementation to post 2024. And remember that at 50%, women are the largest minority vote bank that you can go after.
But why will they not take credit? The BJP will take credit because the Prime Minister is the one who's pushing it through this time.
That's what I'm saying. The BJP will take political credit for it without implementing it in 2024. While your credit comes ahead of time, the implementation has to wait for another 5 years or 6 years at least. Okay. Who knows? And then what happens between now and then? Now, two more things that I want to say. One is that there is always a reference to OBC quota when it comes to women's reservation bill. Are the men in the parliament not Savarnas? Do you not have an upper caste problem with men? Do you only have it with women? So the OBC quota is orthogonal, just like the SC/ST quota is orthogonal to the gender quota. And if you have an SC/ST quota, you're supposed to give tickets both to male and female SC/STs within that, which you're not doing, which is forcing a fencing of 1/3. Similarly, with the OBC quota, who is SP going to give tickets to? Not to Yadavs? Is JDU not going to give tickets to Kurmis? Are these not OBCs? And Kurmi men are OBCs. Kurmi women are also OBCs. So why is it that the gender quota alone is linked to OBC?
I take your point.
And the final thing I think is credit, which the real credit should go to the female voters, because we have made ourselves into a formidable vote bank that even the Prime Minister today is not able to ignore, because women are voting at a greater percentage than men, number one. Yes. Number two, they're turning the elections in so many constituencies that catering to us, and we are the largest minority at 50%. That political credit is not something he can walk away from. The clever part of it is he is not giving it to us yet, but he wants the political credit.
No, the truth of the matter is I agree with your last point. There is a new M in Indian politics. It used to be Mandir, Market, Mandal. No, it is now Mahila. That's very clear. Mahila is the new M in Indian politics. But Jebi Mathur, taking up from what I'm hearing, the Prime Minister is going to take credit. Whether it's implemented in 2024 or not, he's going to say Swachh Bharat, Ujjwala, now the Nari, the new women's reservation bill. I am the one who's driving woman power.
That's exactly what I was saying, Rajdeep, earlier, that Prime Minister is an ardent seller of dreams. Now, this time, for this 2024 elections, he is showing women the carrot by saying that we are going to pass this women reservation bill. But does it have the effect? Who are they benefiting? Is the women benefiting is the question. Unless a benefit is received, what is the point of having it? So that is why we are saying that remove that delimitation clause and then have it in place so that
will you support the bill tomorrow with the delimitation clause? I want a direct, Madam, I want a direct answer. Will you support the bill tomorrow with the delimitation clause in, yes or no?
We are very clear that we are supporting women reservation bill because that's something which we have aspired and we have supported.
So you will support it?
Definitely Parliament is the place for debating. So we will debate it, we will debate it because we want that to be a reality. Okay. We don't want it to be a pipe dream for women. We don't want it to be showing a carrot to the women of India. We want them to benefit. We want women to come to the Parliament and to state assemblies not after many years, but as soon as possible. So remove that delimitation clause, because with the delimitation clause and the after census clause, it is very clear that this is yet another Jumla of BJP before 2024 elections.
Lalita Kumaramangalam did not like the use. Lalita Kumaramangalam did not like the. Ma'am, I take your point. Lalita Kumaramangalam, in conclusion, many of the women also now are saying with the delimitation clause, it's a bit of a Jumla. It's a carrot. Mr. Modi is offering the carrot to people कि चलो महिलाओं के लिए मैंने इतना किया है. The truth is implementation will be 5 years later. The men will continue to dominate.
Rajdeep, the men have dominated, I don't know for how many centuries. What Tara said is absolutely right. That delimitation will probably be the carrot that has been held out to men to get them to agree. Remember that across, and I said this right in the beginning, that across the board, men are still extremely patriarchal. Politics is a very, very patriarchal field. Except for few women, many of whom have come up because of their family connections, etc., you will find that the average ordinary woman, to put that in quotes, has not really been given a fair chance to be able to sit in the biggest decision-making bodies
Right.
of this country, the assemblies and parliament.
Okay.
Exactly what the calculation
Let me
could
leave it there.
well be what Tara said.
We've lost the video to
We need to get the-
Lalita Kumaramangalam as she made that important point. The point is, Indian politics has been way too patriarchal for too long. You needed to change it. In that sense, this women's reservation bill will be seen as a step forward. Our political parties failed to give tickets to women, and therefore you've got to bring in reservation. Remember, at the moment, barely 10-15% of most of our assemblies and parliament have women representatives. India needed change. It's the age of the Mahila. This is Mahila power that deserves credit more than any political party. That's really the message of what's happened in the last few days.